Hey, it's Clay, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol CATB. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So all this here may look like several days worth of time. It's actually just today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like to this time frame. I think it's a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price and just makes mapping out levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. Before I go any further, I do want to note that from a presentation standpoint, this chart is actually really tricky to talk about because there's a whole lot of perspective that goes into it. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a day trader and you bought up there, for example, and you wanted to sell within 20 minutes after buying, then yeah, for you, the chart's looking pretty rough. In fact, the chart looks really bad. Now, if you care about the big picture of things, then yeah, I get it. There's been a very big pullback. But within that context, the bulls do still have an opportunity to build a higher base. And when you have higher bases being built over longer periods of time, that's how long-term uptrends are constructed. I'm going to be talking about things more so from a big picture perspective. So if I sound crazy calling something bullish, my guess would be you just had a different strategy and outlook going into the trade. Now, all this revolves around essentially the moving averages, where even if you have a surface deep understanding of charts, I'm sure you've heard of them. And that's the pink line here and the purple line, which aren't quite the same, but pretty darn close. Pink line being the 200 period simple moving average, purple line being the 50 period simple moving average. And technically speaking, and the reason why I say, depending on your perspective, the chart is still okay, is let's say something like this happens where the pullback continues and the price comes down here, bounces around, these moving averages, and then starts to work its way back upwards. What would you have emphasis on big picture? From the big picture perspective, you'd have a set of lows right here. You'd have this set of lows down here. If you picture these as big picture stair steps, well, then you have stair steps that are still progressing in the upwards direction. Again, I 110% realize that if you're a day trader and you bought up there and you wanted to sell within 20 minutes, that you could not care less about these overall stair steps. But that's why I try to offer up the warning and disclosure that I would be talking about things from more so this perspective of things. Now, if the price comes down here and breaks down through those moving averages, as I've talked about, and even worse, continues to separate to the downside, at that point in time, this whole move was just a total pump and dump where the price made a great move, and then all of a sudden the price would literally be right back down to where it all started in the event the price drops down through those moving averages. So in my opinion, at least, these moving averages, this range right around the $1.40-ish area is definitely a must-hold level, because anything below $1.40, especially when you get into the $1.30s, that is literally putting the price right back to where it all started, and that by no means is a sign of any sort of true strength. So yeah, the pullback was big today, but to be fair to the bulls, they still have an opportunity to build a higher base, so we'll see if they can get that job done or not. One of the biggest questions that I get is, hey Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together a free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then click on the image that is up on the screen right now and I will email you the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point, and best part, it's completely free. Thanks for watching the video. Let me know if you have any questions.